Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap Futures Morning Leap session for Monday, April 30th, 2018 is the last day of the month. And for us Canadians, it is the deadline for taxes. So just a word of announcement. As I mentioned late last week, that I'll do the pre-market this morning, but I'm going to be busy finalizing taxes. So I'm not going to be trading today for the most part. Anyway, my name is Doug McKay. I'm the founder of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning we get together in these live go-to sessions to take a look at the market, macro to micro, take a look at the structure of the market, and then we drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our hypotheses for the day. We do create multiple hypotheses, or you can call them scenarios, or multiple trade plans. We do not know what the market's going to do. Therefore, we create two main hypotheses that have a plan in place for who takes control, the buyers or the sellers, and based on an average true range. And then we have two alternative hypos, hypo 3 and hypo 4, which are our expansion hypotheses and where we expect the market to continue to go into a trend. This is a subscription room. If you're interested in checking it out, send me an email at quantumleapfeatures@gmail.com. There's no website, there's no blog. This is not a commercial venture. We do everything here live in the go-to, in the pre-market session. Then we do live trading and analysis during the course of the trading day. If you want to get a free trial to that, send me an email at that quantumleapfeatures@gmail.com. Please read through the disclaimer. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, and your own risk metrics. So taking a look at Friday, our main hypothesis was an open auction just in range or just out of range. A move down into the 60, 66, 67 area where the VPOC was, possibly a push down into the 57 for a trip through value and back to the microcomposite VPOC, then find buyers and rotate up through and go and take out that overnight, so the week open at 2683 and get continuation. We got hypo 1 for the most part, but we stalled out and went sideways, and we didn't get any continuation. We got a consolidation, and they made the move in the Globex on the week open and Sunday night, today's Globex. So kind of a good day that I only did a little bit of trading, and because it just went sideways and was pretty much nothing. Looking at the news, well, let's look at the earnings first. Earnings so far continue to look good. A few big names on the pre-market. McDonald's came out better as expected. AK Steel, Allergen, First Data, AMG, ARNC, Lowe's. Everything came out pretty strong. After the market closes today, we've got Cognex, Transocean, Nutrisystem, not a whole bunch of really big names. Those will come later in the week. Taking a look at the earnings today, we had the personal income, personal spending was due out at 8:30. And why do I not have? I got something going on. I think the investing.com changed their policy in terms of putting out the data in real time. I'm going to have to keep an eye on that. I noticed that on Friday as well. Core PCE came out as expected. Personal income came out slightly less than expected. Personal spending came out as expected. Coming up in 8 minutes, we've got Dallas Fed PCE, and then really nothing until 10 o'clock, where the big news will be today, pending home sales. We've got Dallas Fed, and then at 10:30, and then we've got the 3-month and 6-month bill auction at 11:30 Eastern time. So not a lot of news, but 10 o'clock you want to watch out for. So taking a look at the overnight inventory, We opened up, uh, we failed to break out of the prior day range. They went down, they almost got down to the VPOC, which is down here at 69 and a quarter. Nice FUBAR Mr. Sneaky here to lead the way from the low of the day, low of the night. And then we rotated up, broke out of the range, came back, held the range high, went and made a new high, chopped around. VPOC shifted up to the 78, 75, and we basically chopped around there. And now we're coming back to test the range high from Friday again. But the key point is that we did get a VPOC shift up, and they're accepting value higher. More importantly, and I'm going to get into this a little bit in more detail, the longer time frame micro composite, which was the VPOC was down at 57 and a quarter, it shifted up. And so we are accepting value higher with inside this balance zone. But I'll get into that in just a couple of minutes. One thing I do every day, I know it's kind of rudimentary, but it's a very important step, and keeps my bias from getting too strong in one direction or the other on a smaller time frame, is I start with a simple candlestick chart. I use a 9 EMA and a 20 SMA on all my charts. And what I'm doing is I'm gauging the strength of the trend. Do we have good slope and separation? Do we have good price paralleling the 9? Giving me the strength of the trend, and I work my way from a larger time frame down, or are we coming and violating or challenging the trend by challenging the 9 or breaking the 20? You can see, the monthly is still very strong. 14 months of one time framing up. Even though it was violated, they still have held above the 9 and the 20 for the last couple of weeks. Going to the daily. To the weekly. The weekly shows a little bit of weakness, and again, we're fighting the 9 EMA right now. We're in this consolidation. We have a possible trend change, but for the most part, they keep holding it and coming back. So, taking it down to the daily, you can see that battle is beginning to win to the long side. We did have this trend down. They've taken it back, and we've got a possible trend change going to the upside. But again, this is a symmetrical triangle, and we're compressing for another breakout. Going into the intraday, the 4-hour, you see that the 4-hour does show that we are starting to trend up. Good slope, good separation, and the trend is showing more upside on the 4-hour. And then just going down to the 30-minute, as we move into the RTH, we are seeing that we have broken below the 9 and the 20, and we're possibly going to get a move back into Friday's session to go down and test some key levels. So going back to that key structure, just a little bit of narrative so that we get an idea. We went up, we had this long trend up just to grind up into new all-time highs. Those all-time highs are unequalized. We have a higher all-time high in the Globex at 83 and a quarter versus the RTH at 80 and a quarter. They tried to hold value up here at the 28.32. They couldn't. They fell out. They came down, and they went all the way down to the 35 and a quarter, actually 29 in the Globex. Came back up, and then it looked like we were going to get a move back up, but when they came up into the 2800s again, they failed at this microcomposite former VPOC and rotated us back down into value. And now we have this wide value area that goes from 27 down to 2603, and we've basically been chopping inside of it. But we've gone down last week and tested the lower end of the value. We've come back up. VPOC was at 57 and a quarter. We accepted that VPOC, and they pushed it up, and we got a VPOC change and accepting value higher at 69 and a quarter. So it is important for us to now stay above the 69 and a quarter to get the push up into the 91.75 we were looking for on Friday, and possibly up into the 27.08 and a quarter, and a test into the 26.25, which would be the breakout. Key levels to pay attention to today, obviously, very much the 26, 69, 75, 70 area. If we don't hold that, then look for them to rotate back down into the value area from Friday and test the lower side of value, which is down at the 65.75 area. If we don't hold that, a move down to the 60, possibly even back down into that 57 and a quarter is possible. But I think they are showing some strength here. Anything above 84 and a quarter, looking for the breakout of the 4-day high and a push up into the 91.75 and up into the 27.03 and a quarter. So our overnight inventory is, I'd say, pretty neutral, but it's about 60% net long, and we're likely to see some balancing and a move back down towards this 70, 69 and a quarter, and see if they bounce from there. It is the last day of the month, so we have to be thinking in terms of monthly critical mass. What does that mean? Our month open is 26.35. It is the last day of the month. We have one trading session. Our daily ATR full session is running at 44.46. So you take the 26.35, add the 44.46, and our monthly critical mass is up at 80.50. What does that mean? It means that if we get above 80.50 and we hold that into the afternoon, that we could see the sellers capitulate and the buyers take control, and we drift up into the close, because there's no chance that we're going to get back to a bearish month, and April will go into the books as a positive month. Of course, we've got the year open sitting here at the 75.75. Our week open is below us down at that 70. Our overnight low is down at 60, 70, 26.70. Our overnight high is up at 82 and a quarter. It's a bit of a weak high, but it's not really, really bad. Our range high from Friday is 76 and a quarter. It will be our over underline. Below it, I expect to move into at least the 72 area and test the value area high. This is a pretty decent consolidation, Gaussian distribution around that microcomposite VPOC and the naked VPOC from Friday at the 69. I have a trade level down here at 63.50 to 65 area that encompasses the LVN and the value area low. Below that, down at the 57, the former microcomposite VPOC 57 and a quarter, and then the range low from Thursday at the 45.50. Our daily downside ATR target is all the way down at 26.37.75, near the month open, and that naked VPOC at 32.50. Our upside daily ATR is all the way up at 27.14.50, and we have a cluster of targets up here. And this is not monthly critical mass. That was from Friday. So looking at our hypotheses for the day, we're going to be opening just outside of range, outside of value, or we could open inside. We still have 30 minutes to go, but I'm looking for a open auction just in range or just out of range. I'm looking for a wide opening swing and a push down into the 72. The 72 is that 3-day microcomposite, the value area high. the RTH open from Friday, and I'm looking from between here and the 69.25. I'm looking for buyers to step in, rotate us up, back up into the overnight high, chop around last week's open at 26.83, and then push up into that 91.25, and that should be up here, 91.25. And that is, and then I'm looking for basically basing here and going sideways. Maybe even coming back and closing down near last week's open at 83. But basically a grind up from moving down to balance the inventory and test that microcomposite VPOC. Hypo 2 is a open auction out of range, a push up into the critical mass, monthly critical mass, and the overnight high, and somewhere between the 80 and the 83, finding sellers, rotating us down into the 69 area, and basically going sideways with maybe a late date probe down to the 64, but closing in around that 69.70 area. That is Hypo 2. Hypo 3 is going to be a gap and go day. Failure to close the gap. Let's look at our half gap. We are currently trading right now at the 78. I'll have to adjust this on the open, of course, but our close was 70.75. So our gap, our half gap fill is 74. And again, this is approximate until we get the actual open, but all right, so Hypo 3, open auction, out of range, a open test drive down to close the half gap, but failure to close the gap. Buyers take control early, move us up into the 80 to 83 area, chop in this area, then get continuation and push up into the 91 area, and then a late date probe up into the 2700s and closing somewhere in the mid 90s. That is my Hypo 3. Hypo 4 is another consolidation day, open auction out of range, push up, take out the overnight high, come down into the 70, and basically go sideways, in the 2670 area. And then in the fifth alternative is a breakdown day, failure to take out the overnight high, a push down into the 57, failure from the 57, and a push down into the month open and come down and close near the month open and down by this naked VPOC down here at the 3250. So those are my main hypotheses for the day. I'm not going to go into today because I'm not going to be trading. So I'm going to finish this. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.